One burpee at a time, Wicks brought fitness to our front rooms, but now the nation's PE teachers lifting spirits once again in an effort to support schools across the country.
But he has also caused a bit of a stir recently, revealing that he drank his wife's breast milk while en route to a Taylor Swift concert because he just couldn't bring himself to throw it away. Before we chat, let's just take a quick look.
Rosie's had to express some milk on the way. And here's the question for you. Should I just dash that out the window, that beautiful breast milk? Or should I drink it for its nutrients and goodness? What do you reckon? Vote now. Even if the vote said no, I still would have drank it. I ain't dashing that. Liquid gold, mama's milk. The energy and nutrients in that is unbelievable. Actually, believe it or not, it tastes really sweet. It's like a natural sweet, like vanilla milk. And one of the babies love sugar and sweet stuff. Down the hatch.
Goodness me.
And why did that cause such a response, do you think, Joe, morning?
I never thought, just for a second, I don't do that every day, I never thought I'd be on GMB talking about drinking my wife's breast milk. Look, it was a bit of fun.
You never thought you'd say that either?
Yeah, it's a bit of fun, and, you know, as I said, like, you know, I was on the way to concert and there was two options, throw it on the floor, drink it, and I had a really good night. I didn't have a drink, I felt energised, I felt pretty good for it, so,
What did it taste like? We ought to know.
So basically, it's like sweet milk, like it's got sugary, like a vanilla milk. Yeah. It's really, really naturally sweet. So, like I said, I'm not drinking it by the pint, it was a shot, and that was it.
I think you're really brave. If I had asked my wife if I could do that, she would have said, absolutely no way.
But I can't be the first man to try their female
no, you're the
partner's
first person
breast
ever
milk.
to admit it.
Live
on national television.
What did your wife think of it when you posted? Because did she know you'd done it?
She was a bit further ahead of me, but I was just saying, I'm just going to have a little shot of this, and she's like, oh, what are you doing? But, you know, I've had a go before. I've had a go before, and, you know, I just thought it'd be fun. But, like I said, with Instagram, you never know what you're going to share. It's going to end up as a Daily Mail or, you know, an article on TV. But can we talk about something a bit more important?
This is not what you're here to talk about.
No, and listen, you're on your way to a Taylor Swift concert, and you two were sharing fantastic experiences of how amazing it was in there.
Yeah, I think my experience wasn't as amazing as Joe's, for reasons we're not going to dwell upon, because we're going to move on. You are doing some work with ASDA around encouraging more schools to do more sport, more PE lessons, more sports days, because apparently lots of schools are finding it hard to do it now. Yeah,
I'm glad we can talk about this, because this is a really amazing campaign that I'm a part of. It's called ASDA's Cash Pot for Schools, where essentially every time a customer in ASDA scans, you know, use their rewards app, ASDA will donate money directly to a school of their choice. So primary schools all across the UK can apply. And essentially it means the more money we raise, and we're hoping to raise up to £7.5 million, that can go directly to the schools, and they can choose to use that for equipment. It could be mini buses, you know, to get to other schools for competitions, sports days, books, art stuff. It's about giving schools who are struggling a chance to actually get access to more things. And, you know, we're seeing a lot of schools really struggling financially and having to get parents to donate more money, and it's just not right.
You've been amazing at motivating us at home to get involved in fitness. When you look back on your time when you were at school, and then you think about your kids now, what is the thing which we need to do as a society to get our children to love sports, and for schools to think it's got to be part of the school week?
This is where my passion lies, right? It's in trying to get people, especially young people, moving, because it's such a big part of my life. I needed PE, I needed that release. I had a chaotic home life. It was my therapy, you know. So when I hear stories and articles of PE numbers being reduced, school fields being sold off, you know, equipment, not having enough equipment, and even something as similar as a sports day not being able to take place, that really upsets me. And so I'm trying to encourage not just schools, but parents to think about role modelling too, because we can't put all the pressure on school, PE teachers to get our kids active. Like, it really starts at home, so we have to get away from the screens, you know, get outside in nature, get to the park, you know, get on your bikes and scooters and things. It makes a difference to your children's life. So. And
you are kind of like the Taylor Swift of sport, aren't you, for us? Because wherever you turn up, thousands of people will just turn up and go for a run with you. Because we were in Brighton just the other day, and just that and it must feel incredible for you to know that you have this enormous influence.
You know, I never take this for granted. I said this, you know, I turn up to these events, and I know anywhere in the world I can go to, well, maybe not the world, but anywhere in the UK, I can say I'm going to be here, and there's always going to be at least one person that turned up to run with me. And so when I see a crowd like that, you know, I love it. And it's all about community. It's about getting people off the sofa, getting people that are feeling down, you know, anxious, all shapes and sizes turn up, all different fitness levels. Some people bring their dogs and walk, other people are bringing their babies, and I do them as much as I can, because it really is about getting people connecting the dots between movement and how they feel, and especially when you do it out in, like, along the coast or in a beautiful park, it really helps people. It gives them something positive to focus on. It's good for their mental health.
And it's given you your life, hasn't it, that you have now, that you can provide for your family, because it is markedly different to your childhood. And you've talked quite openly, haven't you, about you never forget how you are still rooted in yourself, in the way that you were brought up, and how difficult that was, and how sport has actually as you say, well, saved you really in many ways.
Yeah, you know, I talked about my childhood. I did a documentary on BBC One around my experience of living with two parents with mental health issues. My dad had addiction, so like it was quite a chaotic, unstable home life. And for me, PE and sport and movement was like my way of actually whatever you're up to, whatever's going on in your world, I can actually change how I feel. And that was a really big moment for me. So that's why I'm so passionate about getting people moving. And although my life's very different and I can afford nice food and I've got this house that I didn't live in, I'll always be connected to that child, you know, on benefits in the council house, because we had really unhealthy food. You know, we lived on ultra-processed foods, that was it. And it's fine, like you can get through it, but you're not thriving. So I'm always trying to help people who are on a budget to try and find ways of putting healthy food on the table and come up with ideas for, you know, recipes and workouts.
Do you, like, rail against, in some ways, the fact that there is such a push towards sort of looking beautiful and looking fit, where actually really what you're saying is that it's about changing how you feel about yourself. It's actually healthy for the brain. It's not about necessarily vanity. You don't need a certain body type.
Of course, yeah.
To, you know, to be active, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. And the narrative change, isn't it, so much from the early days of it? It's like fitness is about punishing yourself and losing weight, and inches is about looking a certain way. I think that's changed a lot. And even I'm so much more confident now talking about the benefits of exercise for mental health, because it's not just me and all the trainers around the world saying there's science to show the brain changes, you know, it chemically changes, you know, during and after exercise. So I'll always promote that. And, you know, it's not about getting kids competing at high-level sport. I wasn't a great athlete, but I just loved trying different things, and moving my body physically allowed me to deal with the anxiety and the stress that I was living under. And if I didn't have sport and PE, I really do believe I would have gone down a similar path of self-medicating with drugs, alcohol, you know, and all the other addictions that come.
Well, you're hugely inspirational. I'm not sure you'll ever get me to enjoy a burpee. Whenever you go to those HIIT classes, go do a burpee, I think, no, thanks, I don't want to do
It's great what you're doing, and I think it's really important, because sport in schools is not just about fun and happiness, it's also about motivation. Dance, PE, GCSE can help people to learn to do things they're good at and aspire. And the best head teachers say it improves our maths results as well. So thank you, Joe. For
movement is medicine. Movement is medicine.
So important.
Prioritise it.
Thank you, Joe Wicks. And keep drinking the breast milk.